And we are live Sunday, October 2nd, 4:45 p.m. Eastern Time, or if you prefer 16:45. I prefer the 16:45 myself, but I prefer the metric system, but hey, to each his own. So let's do this right now. Let me just check, make sure that everything is okay. So basically what we are going to do today is that we are going to take a look at Tesla daily from a daily perspective, weekly perspective. This is a technical analysis. This is a technical analysis video. So we are looking Tesla daily, weekly, looking at Dow Jones daily, weekly, S&P daily, weekly, Nasdaq daily, weekly, and also the VIX daily, weekly. And yes, it's free. It's free because we are well, once a month I do this free. The other 3 weeks in the month, um, well, you need to be part of, well, first you need to be a member of my channel. And voila. So right now it's a freebie, so use it, use it, use it or lose it. So you can put comments in the comment section. I will look at the comments regularly so that this is going to be a little bit interactive. So welcome. So let's take a look at Tesla. So we closed at 265.25 last Friday, but what is most important is that look at how perfectly the stock was staying above our double support. you know uh, every movement in the stock is has a purpose. It's not random. Look at how it fits here perfectly, perfectly, perfectly. This is, you just have to look and put your lines and you see that things are aligning perfectly. But yes, but on Friday, what happened on Friday is that we closed lower than this support area of the congestion zone right here. So from a technical analysis perspective, this is bad news. This is bad news. It means that we are breaking this. We had people, these lines work because they show where people are willing to buy the stock at. So here on this candle right here, if we look at it, so the low of the candle was 266.15. This one, it was 265.74. And this one was 265.78. So people were willing to buy at 260. Well, of course, the the buyers are willing to buy as low as possible, but the sellers also, they can decide if they want to sell or not. And it seems like below 265, this one here, 265.74, nobody wanted to sell. So I should have said that. So nobody wanted to sell because there are always buyers most of the time, at any price. Well, the lower the price, the more buyers you have. But nobody wanted to sell. But on Friday, we had some people willing to sell, and there were quite a few sellers because the stock price came up like this, but then it was squished back down. So that's really a concern. This is a breakout. This is a breakout. This is a negative breakout here. So basically, what we are going to have to take a look at on Monday, tomorrow, is, are we going to follow this shorter term downward channel? Because Tesla has been in this downward channel since, I'm going to say, September 21st. So this is what Tesla has been doing. Down, up, and it should be doing this. It should continue doing this. So it should continue doing this because, once a pattern has been established, the pattern tends to continue unless it breaks, but it tends to continue for a while. So now it has been in play for maybe 8 to 10 days. And unless we break this resistance right here on Monday, so this would mean something like 276. Let's make it 280 to be sure. Unless we break 280 on Monday, then we are still part of this downward channel. And when the stock is in a downward channel, what technical analysis tells us is that, well, we should let it fall down. There's no point in trying to catch a falling knife. If the knife is falling, let it fall, because you can hurt yourself if you try to catch it. So that's our philosophy on this channel here, is that when something is in a downtrend, we don't try to buy because we just want it to, we are letting it go down, 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 down. And when it breaks the downtrend, then it means that at least short term, it's it it has a bullish trend, and we can enter if we want to. Yeah. So I'm still sad. Well, I hate to say this, but I'm sad for people that own Tesla at $1,200 here and held it until 600 here pre-split. So, that's hard. Losing 50% of your value is hard. And we knew, well, here, let me show you. At this point here, on November 4th, we did not know that we had reached a top and that we were entering into a downtrend. We did not know that. But then the stock pulled back. It pulled back right here, and then it tried to make another top and it failed here. So from that second point here, from that second top, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. So from that second top, first top here, second top here, we drew a line. Every kindergarten kid can do that. We drew a line, and look at how the stock respected that line. Here, 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 went a little bit over. Here, how many times can I say here? Here, here, here. So it has been respected. So basically, so this is just a preamble because, when I do this live that is public, I get a lot of new people and they might be wondering, what is this guy talking about? He has a weird accent, and what is he talking about? We should not buy the dip. Who is he to say that? Well, you can look at it by yourself. Don't buy the dip in a downtrend. This was a downtrend, and if you bought the dip here, you are buying high. You are buying high. But once the lows start to go back up, then you can start to buy your dip, and you are buying higher than the last low, and this is an uptrend. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna stop renting. I have this. I rent a lot. I rent a lot. I rent a lot. So this is me. So, okay, let's see, let's see, let's see. I see a few comments. I'm gonna go there in a few moments. So basically, daily wise, this is where we are heading. This is where we are heading, unless, because technical analysis looks at trends, patterns. The pattern we are in right now is a downward pattern, and it's gonna continue until it stops, obviously. But we know when to determine if the pattern has stopped. And I just told you the pattern will have stopped if we break this. If not, I'm not even touching Tesla, and I might even go short on it. So basically, because of this candle right here, this is not good news. Yes, we had AI day on Friday. Yes, we saw a robot. Yes, we saw a robot. I'm gonna be frank, if we compare Tesla's robot to Boston Dynamic robots, it's not yet that impressive. But based on what Tesla has described in terms of how they want to put intelligence in the robot, so at least Tesla told us. Tesla told us that their robots will be smarter because apparently the Boston Dynamics robots are remote control basically. So they have no, I don't think they have much brain in terms of deciding what they should do. It's somebody that's telling them what to do. But once they receive an order, a command, they can they can do wonderful things. You know, they can do a backflip and things like that. So Tesla's robot right now is not impressive in terms of the backflips it cannot do, and it's not, well, I maybe it's a little bit impressive in terms of it had a little routine to do, a dancing routine, and it did it. But so far, I'm not impressed, but I have confidence. I have trust in Tesla that they are going to solve it. They are going to solve it. And yes, it's just a 6 month old robot. So it's still very, very new. And they basically did this AID because they said it themselves. They want to um, hire people. So they want to show, look, this is what we started doing, and this is where we want to go. And because of their AI chip, blah blah blah, I think that I think that as Elon said, I think that in 10 years their robots will be fantastic. If you want to take a look at the robot and what they could be doing in the future, take a look at the movie Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams. A very, very touching movie, and it's quite funny too. And it shows how robots could be useful in our lives. So okay, so this is the daily chart here. So if we continue this move down, we are going to hit a support right here. So we are going to have support at 236 something. So, depending on when we are hitting it, it could be from 237, let's say, to 238.46. So if you are shorting Tesla, or if you want to get back into Tesla, maybe you could have an opportunity, and nobody knows if it's going to happen, but the pattern can last until this support line right here. So the support line is at 237, and maybe this is where it's going to stop. So this is what technical analysis is telling us. It's kind of telling us the boundaries of movement. You know, here we have a congestion zone between 314 and 268, 314 and 268, and then the stock plays within that. So anything inside of it is just fair game, and it's almost noise. And anything that breaks out of it is signal. Okay, well, I can position myself here to short, or oh, I can position myself here to go long. So this is what I'm telling you here. So we broke 268. So oh, this is a break of that pattern right here, a continuation of this pattern right here, because we can have multiple patterns at the same time. Well, we always have, I would say. So right now we are coming down right here, and that continuing pattern, this downward trend can easily continue down to 237. And then here we are going to be very cautious, because then if we reach 237, then we are not sure what is going to happen. We are going to check the stock price and see, well, okay, is it going to break it or not? It could bounce or it could break. If it breaks, then the next level of support is, I see someone say 220s. Well, I'm gonna say right here. Well, let me just make sure that this support is right. It looks crooked to me. I'm gonna say boom, 205. 205. So 205 if we break this one here. So the first step is to watch what is going to happen next week if we go here, and then it could pause a little bit on 237, and then if it does not go there, then the next stop is 205. So let me just talk briefly before I go to the comments. Let me go to the indicators. So right now we have looked at the trend lines. So we are also looking at the indicators ourselves, and we like Stochastic a whole lot, even though I have the other ones here. So if you want to understand a little bit what they are doing, you can watch me every single day. I do a Tesla analysis video every single day of the week. And I published the video at around 5 p.m. So, stochastic is very important to us. Stochastic is extremely low at 5, so there's no force in the stock. I won't elaborate too much, but we need force in the stock for the stock to go up. If we don't have enough force, and the force is defined by us with a stochastic over 60-day, and I'm not using a regular stochastic for those that know about it a little bit. I'm using a 21-day stochastic. So when we have a stochastic below 60 and there is a move up, we don't believe the move up like we had here. See, the stock went down to 208 and then it started to move up. Yes, everything's great again. Do we have stochastic over 60? No. Well, guess what? Came back down. Oh no, it's coming back up again. Yeah, okay. Well, do you want stochastic over 60? No. Okay, it's coming back down again. See? 1, 2, 3. Here we had stochastic over 60. This was a good move, and see how it started to make a higher low here, and then it started to go. So this is why we are looking at stochastic over 60 a whole lot, and right now it's at 5. So I don't think I think I said enough there. Okay, let me just go to the weekly chart. Let me go through to the daily chart to have a longer term perspective. So on the daily chart, and I'm so glad I did my introduction on stochastic. On our daily chart, weekly chart, we lost stochastic over 60. So this is telling me that this has even more chance of going down next week. So when we don't have stochastic over 60, I put the red thumb down so that we know that, that stochastic is telling us that the stock is not good. So so everything is pointing for the stock. Everything is pointing technically for the stock to go to this level right here. Stochastic technical analysis is not right all the time. So I'm going to say that, but this is what I see right now. Okay, let me go look at your comments. Thank you from Ireland. Hello from Ireland. I like your country. I've been there once. Well, thank you, David. This is very nice. Is this forming and getting ready to break below an M pattern? Okay, let me see. M pattern. Yeah. Well, if you are talking about this. Oops, my mouse is doing funny things. So yes, if you are talking about this M pattern, absolutely. So an M pattern, I hear people that are new to technical analysis are oftentimes referring to the W pattern, the head and shoulders, and everything. It's perfectly fine, but it's not as magical as it seems, because an M pattern pretty much only means that there's a support, and you can break support if you break the M pattern. So if we look at our congestion zone right here, we don't really need to look at the M pattern because it's implicitly the same number, which is this bottom line right here at 268. But yes, you are technically right. Tesla to 220. Well, Tesla to 237 for now. And then if it breaks that, Tesla to 205. And there's a comment that I read ahead. Okay, let me see. Okay, but I'll just go by order. Maybe the gap at 247 fills this week. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, Paolo. Yes, you are right. So there's a gap here, 247. There's a gap right here. So yes, we could go down. We could go down and fill it. Absolutely. So it fits our thinking. Absolutely. Do you ever use the volume profile? Okay, sorry, it's David that said that. Sorry, it's David that talked about the 247 fill. I don't want to infringe on the copyrights of who said what. Do you ever use the volume profile to gauge support and resistance? Um, that's a very good question. I don't use it that often. I don't use it that often because a stock can drop with low volume. It can drop with low volume. For a stock to go up, it's better to have high volume to confirm, but I prefer to confirm with stochastic myself. So here we had a low stochastic and we broke. So to me, this is my kind of confirmation I am using. Have you zoomed out of the weekly monthly chart? Looks pretty bearish, intersecting a large bearish channel, a large bullish channel and large bearish channel, potential breakdown to the downside. Well, let me go back to the weekly chart. So yes, so this is the weekly chart. We had been in a nice bull trend, since March 2020. And Tesla was going up, 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 up. And sometimes it was going ahead of itself, and then it came back. And then it was going up ahead of itself, but that was a nice run. This was a nice profit maker. And then it came back down to the support. But since February of this year, it broke, bounced back, and then fell really hard. So right now, I drew this new support that we have right here. And we have, this is a downtrend, and we broke outside of it, and it seems like we want to be retesting something maybe before going back up. But weekly wise, this is why we are looking at this on the weekend on the weekly chart, and because it's the end of the month, we should also look at the monthly chart. This is giving us a different perspective, this weekly perspective. So right now, even on the weekly chart, it's telling me that it's going there. Let's look on the monthly chart, since you mentioned it. Not 12 months. Yeah, that's a 12. Is it 12 months? No, it's not 12 months, it's 1 month. Okay. So monthly chart, what does that tell us? Okay, so monthly chart, it's not better. There is no stochastic over 60 on the monthly chart, and we have this big wick at the top here showing that we try to go up, but then and then we were pushed down. So no, so in terms of the monthly chart, it should come down also here. The only thing that's positive on the weekly chart, on the monthly chart, is the DMI. The DMI, when we have the green line above the red line, this is kind of a long-term perspective. So this is why also I do these weeklies on Sunday to look at the weekly and monthly chart, because some people want to invest for the long term. So long term wise, A great indicator for a long-term perspective is the DMI. And DMI is telling us, has been telling us since September 3rd, 2019, that Tesla is in a bull trend. Which is not wrong if you look at it from that time perspective, because this is where it started and this is where we are right now. So yeah, this is still bullish, this is still going up. But shorter term, then everything is pointing towards a correction. Thank you guys for commenting as much. I love this. Hello, sir. Glad to catch you live stream for the first time. Hello, Tate Consulting. I'm glad you got this too. Thank you very much. We will see 2220s. We'll see. I know you don't predict, but what do you think the new delivery and production numbers that just came out today? Yeah, I don't predict. Yes, exactly. I don't try to predict. I just try to follow where the stock is going. But I watched Tesla Daily's analysis of the production numbers, and what he said concerns me a little bit. He said that the production numbers were lower than the analysts' expectations. So that's that. I think it's the production or or deliveries. I'm not sure which one, but supposedly it's lower than what the analysts are predicting. So then, if that news hits, then in terms of the news articles, you could see Tesla misses expectation, or you know how this work. So basically things could go down. Things could go down. And in terms of the robot, I, I think at the first AI day, I don't think the stock went up at all. I don't remember when the first AI day was. I think it was in September. Not sure if it was in September. Okay, it was not too bad. Things were going up here. But if you can tell me when the first one was, we can look at that date on the chart. Okay, next one. What would you call a triple top pattern on the daily chart from 3 hits? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's a triple top. I have been trading Tesla on the way down for Tesla since 290. Okay. Working out well, just have to be patient and go long slowly and scale safely. Yes. Been trading Tesla on the way down for Tesla since 290. So you mean here, I guess? You mean here in the congestion zone? Or even before? Tell me in the comment. Deliveries don't matter as much as production. With tax credit coming out in Q1, Tesla should focus on fleet sales in Q4. Doing so, in my opinion, will make demand explode. Well, there's no question. There's no question that Tesla stock is going to go super high for a long time. There's no question about that. I believe in that company. I believe in that company since I've heard Elon speak. He's not dumb. He's pretty much a genius. And the first time I tried a Model S P85, I think it was in 2015 or even before. I don't remember. But when I tried that, then I was just flabbergasted. Flabbergasted. I would not even call that a car. I called it a spaceship. You push on the pedal and you feel the push. So what is happening with the stock right now that has been in a downtrend since I said it November 5th is just a fluke. It's just a fluke because look at this here, you know. Surprise 15% earnings. Yes, okay, the revenues were a little bit lower, but then whew, stock shot up like crazy. And here, 7.5% beat, 3% beat. Stock continued going down. Here, 42% beat, 5% beat. Stock going down. So, you know, this is why I don't put too much emphasis on the fundamental analysis, you know, because the stock market is not looking at fundamental analysis that much. People have other motives, you know. It's people and trading bots that are playing the stock market, and if we only focus on the fundamental analysis of a stock, we are missing some great moves. And what counts are the moves of the stock price. And yes, a proxy to understand the moves in a stock price is the fundamental analysis. Should be at least, but it does not it does not correlate all the time. But what correlates most of the time is technical analysis. When you break a trend line, it really tends to go down for whatever reason. It tends to go down because what those lines are looking at is the behavior of the herd and the whales. I will say the whales, you know, the big institutions. It's looking at the overall movement. This is all we do. We are looking at the movement, and this is way more reliable than fundamental analysis. It's sad. Well, okay. Let me say in the shorter term, because I think that in the long term, Tesla will be worth, I don't know, several $1,000s, and Tesla might become the biggest car manufacturer in the world. I believe that. I believe that. So long term, yes, it's going to go super high, super fast. But long term, I don't want to just be an investor and put my money there and not think about it. I want to catch those swings down and catch those swings up and catch those swings down and catch those swings up. This is what I want to do instead of losing half of my portfolio's value, gaining some of it, and just waiting. So I just want to optimize. I want to optimize my return and not just sit on my stocks. And yes, it's a lot more work to do what I do than just putting your money there and just watching Stephen Mark Ryan and you know, feel good that Tesla is going to have a super high stock price eventually. Yeah, I could do that, but and this is way more fun too. This like shares to hedge. Okay, okay. Oh, well, I don't know about these Tesla shares. What is that? What is that? Is that the opposite? Okay, tell me. Okay, let me see. What patterns indicators would you look for to buy a put? What rules do you have for your stop loss? Well, you you buy a put when the stock breaks a support, which it did on Friday. And but also you need to have a low stochastic in order for your chances for the put to work. So here we have a stochastic below 60. So as yeah, a stochastic above 60 is for going long. A stochastic below 60 is for going short. Yeah. So as soon as we break support, so you could break a diagonal support, you can break a horizontal support. I prefer a horizontal support. for a stock to go down, and which we had on Friday, but this is not financial advice. Yeah, Palantir. Yes, I said I was going to look at Palantir just briefly because I used to do it every single day along with Tesla, and I stopped doing it. So this is why I have all these lines are already there. So Palantir seems to be topping. You know, it's see, this is what we have right now, and we had this one here, and now you know, I think I would like to use this one as a 844. So 844 as a resistance and 750 as a support. And see, it's trying right here. It's trying to go up. It's trying to go up. But it has a hard time a little bit. The good news is that I won't do the whole thing, but you know, Stochastic is over 60 here, so you know this move is a lot more believable than this one here because Stochastic was not there for this one, so it fell down. So here, because Stochastic over 60, there's more chances that you know, if it pulls down a little bit, it could be for good than to go higher. So watch for a pull down maybe and do your line at that point. If it's there, you put that line and then it should maybe, yeah, it should continue. It should continue. Okay, let's go back to Tesla. Are gaps always filled? No, no, they are not always filled. And the reason is because when there's a gap, it's because the stock went so high so fast. And when you have a stock that that goes high and fast based on good reasons, you know, not just some GameStop people and some Discord channel pumping a stock and everything, but if there is a decent reason behind it, why should it go back? Why should it come back down? Makes no sense. So a runaway gap is when a stock goes super high, super fast, and they tend never to get filled. A runaway gap. This one, is it a runaway gap here that we had here? No, I don't think it's a one. You know, I don't think it's a runaway gap. You know, we had resistance right here. You know, the stock was not running away from where it was before. It was just coming back to where it was before. So the chances of that gap being filled is higher. Palantir, yes, it was done. Pierre, I like shares instead of options because I'm controlling my risk more. Yes. Do you use Tesla shares to inverse? No, no, I've never used that. Well, in fact, I did not know about that. I did not know about Tesla shares. That's the thing here, I guess. Is that it? I'm gonna look into it a little bit more. Well, thank you for pointing this out. What happened to Palantir? Well, you tell me. You tell me. This is another case of fundamentally this is a great company, but the stock is tanking. We do have war, we do have inflation. So, you know, if you are relying on fundamental analysis to predict the movement of a stock, then you'll have to analyze everything, the the economy, inflation, the wars, the politics, the currencies. You'll have to analyze so many things: the production numbers, delivery numbers, the competition. That and then, well, okay, no. If you can do that, you should be able to predict. But then, how can you analyze when an institution decides to dump Tesla? It has nothing to do with the war, the inflation, blah blah blah. If if a mutual fund decides to dump Tesla, it could send the stock down. And how could you have known? It's impossible. So this is why I do technical analysis instead. Right, deliveries lower because more inventory. Yes, yes, okay, that's a check. Yeah, I saw there is a 20,000 cars, I think, well, the 20,000 cars difference between deliveries and production. You're right. Ah, okay, yes, thank you. Thank you, David. I notice you use regular candles usually. Do you ever switch to Haikanashi? No, 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 I don't use Icon because I prefer to manage the noise myself. And what is Icon bringing to the table is is to basically do a moving average on the stock. So then you don't really see the smaller moves of the candles. You see just an average. So it's kind of like using a moving average. So I feel like it's hiding some details. Oh, someone wants to chat with me. Yes, chat 69. Yeah, I guess. Well, thank you. I feel good about. I feel better about myself. Okay, August 19th, 2021, first AI day. Let's see. August 19th. Let me make it bigger. Whoops. August 19th. Okay, well, okay. It. Sorry. This one here. It's the little red candle. It's this one right here. Okay, so basically, it didn't have much effect. Didn't have much effect because we had already bounced, well, touched the support right here, and we went higher. And then after the 19th, then it was a red day, but a little bit higher low and a higher high. So it did nothing. It did nothing to the stock. And the first one had journalists there, and they were asking questions and everything. And I think it was a better one in terms of they showed the silicon, their Tesla silicon and everything. So I think it was a better one than this last one. I don't know if there were journalists on that last one. I didn't see any. So maybe the effect is going to be next to nil. Thank you for looking it up. So what do you expect the move to be? Well, I expect the move to continue. I expect the move to continue. So we broke the congestion zone, and I expect it to continue until this resistance is broken. Then I'm gonna change my opinion. What is the probability that Tesla will go to 237? Well, the probabilities are higher since last Friday we broke the support, and since we have Stochastic at 5. I cannot give you a number, but it's higher. So this is what technical analysis does, is that if we are above support, the probability is that we are going to remain above support. If we break support, then the probability is that we are going to continue. It's not always right. It's not always right, but it tends to be right. Tu es bienvenu, anonymous one. Do you have any site or page giving live investment operations? No, not yet. I don't have that yet. I just do this on YouTube. I have a few tiers, but no, I don't. I usually don't give any advice on when to buy and when to sell because, well, I say that it's a very personal decision. I buy and sell very often on the 1 hour chart myself because on the 1 hour chart, it's easier to be early in some moves. So this is what I do, and everybody is different. You have people that are more risk averse and everything. So this could never please everybody. I could never please everybody if I say, well, buy and sell here, and then if it goes down a little bit and then it comes back up, then the people are going to tell me, well, you should not have told me to sell here because it kept going up. Well, it was not sure that when I said sell, you had a profit. So stop complaining that you could have had a better profit. So I don't want to go there, and I'm not a financial advisor, so I would get the SEC on me or whatever. How precise are you when placing your trend lines? Do you put them at the lowest end of the wick all the way down? I think I'm pretty good with my trend lines. And I tend to put them both ways. So I tend to do this right here. So here I call that a double support or double resistance. I tend to, you see, like this one here, it kind of touched this, but then sometimes it goes lower. So I like to have both because sometimes it stops on one and sometimes it stops on the other. But the real way of doing it is to include the wicks. That's the real way of doing it. But sometimes I feel like sometimes it fits better not to include the wicks. But if you want one rule, include the wicks. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, thank you for this. Thank you for your appreciation. I notice your stochastic is set to the default. Yes, exactly. Why change? Because it's better. It's better this way. It makes me lose. Well, it makes me not get in when I thought I would get in. And if I had a 14-day, I would have gotten in. And I saw a paper recently, a really interesting paper where they said, it was a scientific paper on trading. And no, I should not do this. It was really, it was you, it was really a scientific paper, and a 21-day stochastic is just the best. And I was using 21-day based on my intuition, and that confirmed that to me. A megaphone pattern for stochastic with weekly chart using 1433. Okay, a megaphone pattern. Okay. For stochastic with 5 points below. Okay, and then we have this chat boy. I totally respect your method, but speaking of Z, has SMR. Well, I like to think I made more. I like to think yes, 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 yes. I sold. Come on. Well, no, no, sorry. I sold at 395 here instead of holding. So and this was a nice run. So when you get out, instead of suffering this, you keep the money you make instead of losing it. But yeah, it takes a lot more work. It takes a lot more work. I'm gonna give you that. I don't know what's a red herring fallacy. What about US 30? Which point can we buy it? Please answer. US 30. What is that? Do you have a method to indicate the bottom oversold point? No, no, I don't have a method for bottom. No, I do what is called a trend following. So I I never catch the bottom. I never catch the bottom because catching the bottom is riskier, a lot riskier because if it does a low, how do you know it's a low instead of just still going lower? So it's safer to just catch a new trend after a low, you know. Yeah. Uh, as well as any profit if he sold unrealized profits. Okay, technically SMR. What is SMR? Hasn't realized any profit if he never sold. Yes, they are unrealized, but they are so close to be available and in your bank account. They are this close. So to me, so yeah, if you measure the profits from a long-term investor and you forego all the unrealized profit, yeah, that's it. It makes the fundamental or investing philosophy greater because you don't count a 1200 to 600 drop as a loss. I count it as a loss because 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 what I try to do is optimize the money I make on the movement of the stock. So so if a stock does this, if I'm not in it, this is a missed opportunity. And if it does this and I'm in it, yes, technically it's not. Oh no, it's unrealized profit. It did not exist. Well, I still saw the number on my portfolio. I still saw the number and it still did all these charts. And if I had clicked, I would have gotten it. And I did not. Ah, okay, Stephen Martin. Yeah. So, yeah, there are different philosophies in investing. There are different philosophies. Yeah, buying and holding is works, and technical analysis works. And this is why you need to choose. Do you sell a set amount when you take profit? A set amount. I could sell a little bit if I see a downturn, but I mostly play on the 1 hour chart. So, on the 1 hour chart, on the 1 hour chart, when we lost stochastic here, I sold. So I sold everything. And then we did not get stochastic back until we were here. So this was the point. So maybe wait here because this is a resistance and maybe wait here. And then the buyback was here. So, it's not too bad to sell at 396 and buying back at 357 for a little bit of a while. And sometimes you are even because here we had started a downtrend. So then into a downtrend, once the downtrend has been established, then we should not buy long into a downtrend. It's a lot more risky. And then once your downtrend is very well established, then you can buy long if it's close to support right here. It went close to support. Whoops. Stochastic over 60. Look at this move. It's not too bad. If you only look at stochastic over 60, it's good enough. And sometimes it's sideways, stochastic over 60 here. Then did not do much. So, but it's okay. you can do your support here and you are just, well, okay. And if you lose stochastic over 60, you don't sell if you are above support. So we were above support here. So okay, I lost stochastic over 60, it's bad. But then support is holding me, so okay. Oh, I got stochastic over 60 back. Phew, I'm happy. And then once it does this, then you sell. So this is how I do it. And you can see this every single day. You can see this every single day. Okay, so let me just, this is getting long, almost an hour. So let's look quickly at Dow Jones and the VIX and everything. So VIX is telling us the fear in the market. When the VIX is going up, the stock market tends to go down. Let me just clean up this a little bit. Clean this up. Okay, so VIX quite high, quite high, quite high. We are above 30. And we have a little bit of resistance right here at 34 and some at 33, and we are still quite high. So this is not good for the stock market to have it this high. So this is another reason why things could be going down. And if we go on the weekly, yeah, a weekly, we are getting stochastic over 60. So this move is to be believed. It's not just a rebound, a fluke. This is a this move is a valid one. Let me look at Dow Jones. So Dow Jones, this is another thing that happened on Friday. So look at Dow Jones, downtrend, 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 downtrend. You don't need lines to see it. It's just going down, and it was bouncing on this one here, with an exception here. This is an exception. Sometimes it does not work, but you know, it has been working since September of last year, so it's pretty good. So yes, there's an exception right here. And but most of the time it bounces on this support right here. Here we did not bounce last Friday, so this is a concern. This is concern. So there's a rule. Well, it's not a rule. It's more of a principle. If you have a break outside of a support or a resistance, it's safer to wait for 2 candles because sometimes it reverses back, just like what it did here. 1 candle, 2 candles. Well, at 3 it reversed. So this one is a little bit of a fluke. But here we have 1 candle. So we have one candle down. We don't have 2. Are we going to get 2? That's the question that we are going to have the answer to Monday. But this is a concern in itself with stochastic extremely low. So this is a concern. S&P 5. Okay, let me go on the weekly chart for Dow Jones. And I'm trying to go quicker. It's been an hour, and I think I'm going to bore you to death. So, oh, very interesting. Let me try it. Very interesting. Look at this. Okay. So weekly wise, we touched on the support on Dow Jones 28,735. Look at this. It fits perfectly with this. So there's a possibility, because of this, there's a possibility that we could be bouncing because we have strong, well, we have strong enough support right there. And we had it here, which is why it reversed. You see, there are no random moves. Here, the fluke I was talking to you about on the daily chart is because of this. Now we also have a move here. So there's a probability that we are bouncing on this. If we go lower, then the probability goes away. So if we open lower on Monday, then 28.7, you know, we are at 28.725. So if we go a little bit lower, maybe let me see if I can. 28,694. So let's say 28,694. That's a safer indication that things may be going even further. Okay, I had that already. So it was right here. So 28,694. So that's the number to watch on Dow Jones. Let's go directly to the weekly chart on S&P 500 because anyway, on the daily chart, it's pretty much the same thing than Dow Jones. So weekly chart, we have support at 3544. So SPX 3544. We have support there. If we break that, then to me that's a sign to go short. And yeah, that's a sign to go short. The stochastic is nowhere to be seen, and Nasdaq is a little bit different because Nasdaq has not broken. It's still into its channel. This is the weekly channel. It's still within it. So Nasdaq is not as bad, but Nasdaq could go as low as 95.70 without without breaking any patterns. There's just a little bit of support at 10,534, but yeah, it's not breaking any pattern yet. And lastly, let's look at Dow Jones monthly, and I'm gonna finish with this. Okay, so this is Dow Jones monthly. Look at, well, since 2009, look at how pretty much perfect this support was. Except for one candle, it happens. One candle here, that was outside, but then it behaved well. And look at how it's respecting that one too. This is, technical analysis is not a fluke, something that works for over 10 years to me is pretty good. So we came outside of this double channel. So this is number one, this is number two. So we came outside. This was just this is what, maybe it's the Fed that was just injecting too much money in the market. And now we are coming back down here, and we just broke this support right here. So we could easily be heading to this bottom support without breaking a pattern. So we could, and this is a nice support here. So we could see Dow Jones, if things continue, we could see Dow Jones at 26,671. Stochastic extremely low. Look at how low stochastic was. We had the same low right here. So maybe it's gonna bounce, but we need to wait for evidence for that. We need to wait for evidence. And right now, for Dow Jones to start to go back up, it's gonna need to break this. So that's pretty high, 32,766. It could go there and still do this, like it has been doing three times already. Could still do it again. So unless we break this thing here would mean not much here on the monthly chart. It would not mean much. It would just be a little bit of a candle that goes this high, but maybe it continues down. Okay, so let me just go to the comments one last time. How do you use the different time charts? Yeah, yeah, that's a big question. But basically, let me put this there. So basically, I tend to trade with options for Tesla on the 1 hour chart, and I tend to go and I tend to go along with stocks with Tesla on the daily chart. So this is how I tend to do this. And when I want to buy stocks in Tesla and I think that the daily chart is good enough, then I switch to the hourly to just get the best price, to just get the beginning of the move, which is a closer beginning of the move on the 1 hour chart. But I need to make sure that on the daily, I have my signal before. This is why I do this. So, well, thank you very much, guys, for doing this with me. It was great. It was interactive and everything. So I really enjoyed it. So I hope you got some. I hope you got some value out of this. So basically, technical analysis is not predicting anything. It's following what we see. And when we see a downtrend, well, we just hop in until we don't see it anymore. And we hop in on the bull trend and everything. So have a great rest of the weekend. If you want to catch me, you can watch me on this channel every single day for Tesla and the Dow Jones analysis. So have a great rest of the weekend, and I'm going to tell you à la prochaine.